Welcome to the Eorzean Update, a behind-the-scenes discussion podcast about Final Fantasy XIV Online for the HJP Podcast Network.
I'll be your host, Violet, a definitely not completely crazed Vieira from the You Don't Need to Know Where and You Don't Need to Know When.
And I'm also your host, Houka, a definitely not voidsent creature that is in the reality of Final Fantasy XIV, a 7-2 Allison Glamazon with a slight taste of the ruby red.
Today we're going to be discussing the 7.4 live letter that came out.
Yes.
And so honestly, Houka, like how you been? How you been? I'm gonna tell you how I've been.
I just getting over a cold. If you cannot tell from my voice or whatnot, but
yeah.
I'm trying to get through this. But you know, we're here, excited about this live letter.
Me, honestly, we had to take a break because I've been sick AF. You know, sort of like this live letter. Oh my god.
Oh
So
my goodness.
much coolness came down. Okay. So let's start at the top. We got a nice little recap of all the things. This is going to be, and I'm not kidding, probably one of the biggest quality of life content drops of the last 6 years I have been playing this game.
Something like that.
Holy
it's
crap.
incredible.
It's so much. Okay, so of course we're going to get new MSQ, and we are moving on from the Alexandria. We're not going to go into any more details on what it is, but we're going to be moving on from the storyline that we have been on, and we're going to be moving on to the next part of the storyline that's going to be headed into 8.0, which, you know, we're going to be starting to see the story build up into the next expansion. We're in full post patches for our MSQ right now.
Oh, if you could see me right now, I'm just like getting like a little girl right now. Like, oh my god, I cannot. Oh, we are heading towards it.
The things I want to talk about, but I can't because this is a behind the scenes. So let's get more behind the scenes.
Yes.
So we're not gonna mention the new trial. We're going to skip over that because, quite frankly, the new trial is related to the story. But I will mention a few things. Get your memory going. If you are unmedicated of your ADHD and you don't have a working memory, get it going. Get your pot of coffee because that trial has going to be 100% apparently memory stuff all the way down. It's very much in the same line as Doom Train. So, you know, if you remember Doom Train, only now with more memory mechanics. Hooray!
That sounds so much fun.
It actually does.
It
but
does,
at the same
actually.
time, it also sounds terrifying. So, we'll get into that. The gear from the new dungeon is, we have got my 3 favorite genres of glam coming down the pike, like 3 or 4, because we've got the raid series. Let's talk about Arcadian real fast, because we've also got the final storyline of the Arcadian raid series is coming out. 7.4, that's going to be our full drop, December 16th. And we're getting just full cyberpunk. Like, they've kind of been hinting at cyberpunk or like, you know, that sort of thing with some of the gear that's been coming out of it. We got wrestling in the first series. It was very like leather, pleather, you know, wrestling stuff. It was very circa 1980s wrestling gear, not like 90s, right? You recognize it. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. The next series was a little bit more, I want to call it like revolutionary chic. It was very pulled from like some of the Stormblood, like maybe dressed up a little bit more, had a little bit more chicness to it. But the ones that are coming out of this are just full on like dialing up everything you could have gotten out of one of the cyberpunk dungeons in the End of Dawn Trail, plus some other cyberpunk ideas, all thrown together into some of the coolest glams I've ever seen. I'm excited. Beyond that, and here, okay, so I have to take a full. I'm going to try not to make this the entire podcast. I'm going to be honest with you, but this
I
story
mean, we can.
blew my mind. I'm just like, right? Okay. So I'm old, and I also like the hard-hitting things. And okay, so basically I'm a huge Rage Against the Machine fan. Like, I'm massive. Love it. And so Soken and Yoshi P and Foxconn wound up dropping the biggest bomb ever. Apparently, Tom Morello, get this shit, Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine, guitarist for Audioslave, yep, that Tom Morello has created a song, Everything Burns with Beartooth, for Final Fantasy XIV. It's I'm so excited.
I'm
Okay.
so okay. So like I had to watch the live letter later on because I was at work by the time it was going on, and then when you told me, I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
I know. Okay, so hype. I am so hyped for this. Okay, so if you go to the special site, by the way, okay, I'm gonna calm down a little bit. Okay. So if you go to the special site, you can actually see a special intro from Tom Morello talking about the song a little bit, and then they play like a little snippet of it. It is going to be the theme of the last 4 of the, like, we're gonna get it in the Arcadian series. They're not telling us about it now, like how it's gonna play in, because apparently it ties in with the story.
Oh.
Okay, nope. Back to hype. Okay. So Soken comes on wearing a Rage Against the Machine shirt, because icon, legend, anyway. So apparently, because like they're all friends, like the oh god, I can't remember his name. Why am I so bad at names? The lead singer that came on to do the guest spot for Close in the Distance in Walker.
I know his name is also with Chris.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so apparently he is in the band with Tom Morello, and therefore is like good friends. And they got to talking about Final Fantasy XIV and Soken. And so Tom Morello basically just sat down and wrote a song.
Oh no, Jason Miller, isn't it? Jason Miller.
Yeah.
Jason Miller.
Yeah, just completely just wrote a song. And then through his agent got in touch with Soken and was like, okay, just so you know, I wrote this song, and if you want to use it in your video game, please do, because that would be awesome. Right? He's like, I don't care about getting paid. I don't care about any of that. I just care that I just want you to use this song because I think it would be awesome. And Soken was like, you could see when they were talking about it on the live letter, he held up his hand, and his hand started, she was like, I was reaching to click on the email, my hand was shaking. I was like, this cannot be real. Somebody is pranking me. And he clicked on it, and sure enough, it was from Tom Morello's agent, and it was just like, oh my god. And he apparently sat there and listened to it shaking the entire time, just shaking like a leaf. They listened to this song apparently like straight for 6 months, just on a loop constantly. It was so banger. They were like, we want to use this song, but we don't know where. And now we got to work out all the details of how to get this like completely free. And like, we can't afford a Tom Morello's. What are you talking about? We can't afford this song. And Tom's like, no, it's fine, man. I'll sign whatever. It's cool. I just want you to use the song. And they're just like, really? So we are gonna get one of the coolest crossovers of all time. Like, we all know that one of the things that makes Final Fantasy XIV like a banger, like an absolute fucking joy. Sorry, I'm using the. You're gonna have to bleep me. It's just a joy to play. Is because it is just auditory. It's just musically beautiful. It's amazing. It's spectacular.
Yeah.
Like, the music in this game is so good. Okay, so now we get this, and I'm fully losing my mind. Anyway, if you can't tell, just fully losing my mind over it. So yeah, like, you know that scene of that kid on Kyoshi Island in Avatar The Last Airbender, who like
Yeah.
goes frothing at the mouth, is like, ah! Ah! Yeah, that's been me for like past 48 hours fully.
Oh wow.
So excited.
That's
The
awesome.
best part about it is that the song is actually going to be hitting all of the streaming services the next day after the patch drops.
Ooh.
So if you want to
Well,
sit down and listen to it on loop, guess what?
well, that's gonna
That
be
will
part of
be
my
available.
that's gonna be part of
Yup.
my road trip song on the way down. So
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Nice, 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 nice. I'm so unbelievably hyped for that. I'm gonna go day one. I am all about getting into all of those raids. I want to see all that go down. They actually showed some details of the first boss, which is actually going to be a split boss. So it's a surfer theme.
yeah.
So like, you go to a water park, but it's like a fire and water sort of theme, and you have they've done this before. There are lots of other bosses in the game that have like that split mechanic, and basically their health bar is kind of like split over the two bosses. So but they'll switch out at various times, and then apparently there are a few scenes we can see in the trailer, which, by the way, if y'all get a chance to see the trailer, we're going to go ahead and link that in the description. Please go watch it. I've watched it like 4 times already. It is probably one of the best patch trailers I have ever seen for Final Fantasy XIV, and most of them are pretty dang good. So go do yourself a favor, go check it out. It's amazing. The editor they got on this one, oh, they did such a good job. And it uses the Everything Burns as the song on the background for part of the Arcadian series. Oh my god, so good. So good.
So like with the split bosses and whatnot, is it like similar to like one of the Edenverse fights that we did back in Shadowbringers? Is it like similar like that when you have two separate bosses that you face one on one at the same almost at the same time?
Well, it's like, okay, so there's a dungeon in Shadowbringer near the end that has 2 shark bosses.
Hmm.
It's the second boss of the dungeon. And what happens is that one will leave the platform for a period of time, and so you're only fighting one boss, and then they'll switch out at one point. Mechanics will change, and then at another point, you'll have both of them for a short period of time. It's going to be a similar format, but the mechanics are much faster and they are much higher level.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, and it's all like, and it's so weird, but it is, in fact, surfer summer like theme park. idea, and then apparently one of the other bosses is a gladiator from like because we see a sand based arena where it's all like sandstone and block stones that have been carved together to create the platform. There's and then there's another boss that is a demon like boss, and then one of them is a complete mystery. No idea. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, hopefully it's my pipe dream of a certain character that's sitting on the bench in Solution 9. So
That would be very cool. We will see how that goes. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the Arcadian. The music, I don't know how in the world I'm gonna pay attention to those fights because the music is gonna be so good.
I don't know how I'm gonna, because a lot of the time when I'm fighting, I'm like in my like I'm like also air drumming at the same time, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I should not be doing this at all. So
Right? Trying not to headbang so hard you can't see what's coming up.
I mean, if I'm gonna be headbanging that hard, I'm gonna be hitting my keyboard at the same time. So
Getting into it. Anyway, all right. So we're also gonna have getting away from Arcadian. As exciting as that is, I don't want to like spend all the time on it, but oh my god, Tom Morello. Anyway, um everybody's favorite Stormblood trial boss is now the new Unreal that's dropping for 7.4, and that's going to be Tsukiyomi's Pain.
oh,
I personally love this fight. I think it's a really well done fight. I have always enjoyed it. It's both story-wise incredible. It is visually a beautiful, but let's just say there are a few people that are a little like this about some of the mechanics because there's a few doom moments.
just only a few. I mean, it's nothing
Just
too bad, but just a few.
So, but yeah, we'll see how that gets tuned for level 100. I am excited. I'm excited to do that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Um the the next thing I want to kind of talk about is some of um the quick overviews of things that I know that people are not going to be like super excited, but they're there. Go check out the live letter if you there's a translation for those who don't speak or read Japanese that's available, and we'll link that in the description as well, so that if you have it was a 4-hour live letter. It was a very long live letter. If you have the time to go and dedicate it to getting through all of it yourself, go right ahead. I suggest it, especially to kind of keep up to date on the new stuff. But we're going to go over like our reactions to some of this. The next thing we're going to talk about is PvP. I am.
Yay.
So I know. Look, I understand that PvP is the thing I care about, and not a lot of other people care, especially frontlines. For some reason, frontlines people don't like a lot. I like it. I like the chaos. I like it. I think it's a lot of fun. But
Okay, so
um
so truth be told, I've been playing a lot more PvP this time around, and I've been slowly
hey,
liking myself doing front lines almost on the daily. Granted, I have to switch data center to do it, but I've been finding
right.
myself enjoying it, enjoying the chaos as well. So
Yeah, it's actually not bad. I enjoy Crystal and Conflict too. They are doing some pretty big updates. One of which is going to be that we're getting a whole new map for
yes,
Frontlines, and it's actually based on Warcore Cherte Triumph, which this one's kind of cool because they've changed things up. Normally, the way that you have to kind of strategize is that when you're going to take points, your team has to essentially protect like the one person who can get through to go over and click the point and try to grab the point. And then so you have all of the people who are protecting that person who's going and taking the point. And of course, everybody else on the other team, their plan is to try and interrupt the one person who's taking the point. The way they've changed it up this time is rather than it being a single person having to click on something to take the point, instead you just have to occupy a circle that's around a flag so that you can either take a full or portion of the flag. So instead, it's more of like having mini sumo rings. Your idea is that you want to knock people out of the rings
Yeah.
so that your team can take the flag, which that's going to add a whole new strategic point of view. The other thing that's being added to it is that we're now getting weather effects.
Ooh.
So I don't know whether or not we're going to get more than the 2 weather effects that they talked about in the live letter, but the 2 weather effects that we do have specifically mentioned is there's a snow effect. The snow effect will give you white AoE circles on the ground. If you stand in them, you actually get a barrier buff that will make it harder for people to kill you. But there will also be orange AoEs on the ground that you'll have to avoid. And many times those can overlap, especially with the circles that you need to stand in or with the buff AoEs. So it's kind of like a strategic, you want to grab that. There's also a bunch of snowmen or snow spirits that will show up on the ground that can break line of sight. So you get extra line of sight breaking during the snow period. And then we have the northern lights that will happen. So when we go through the northern lights, for the aurora, then what happens is your LB will actually fill up faster. So we're going to see people going absolutely nuts on throwing LBs in PvP left and right in that front line. And then on top of it that is when all of the S ranks come out. So that's when you're going to be really trying to vie for those points to grab.
Oh, this is going to be so much fun. I
I
really cannot wait. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be fun. I think we should get people together, and I think we should definitely go and grab some people for Frontline and see if we can get some teams together and go and try it out, because I think it'll be fun. The next like content drop thing is, of course, we get new Hildebrand. I will not talk about it. They have not mentioned much about it, but we will get new Hildebrand, which I'm gonna be fully honest with you. The Hildebrand in Dawn Trail is peak. It is completely peak. I think that you should definitely, if you haven't gotten a chance to, if you're in Dawn Trail and you haven't gotten through it yet, please, for the love of all that is holy, go do it. It is so great. And one of the things they talked about that's so great about Hildebrand is that it's where the dev team gets to try out all of their custom animations. And so there has been some truly hilarious animation creation. We are also getting some iconic Japanese anime references in this Hildebrand. Oh, it's
most definitely.
So cool.
I messaged you when I first saw it. I'm like, yes, they added it in there. I'm not gonna spoil it. If you're not seeing the trailer or anything like that, you won't.
You won't. If you are a fan of anime, especially classic, iconic anime, you will definitely recognize the reference for the animation, and you'll get very hyped. So, look forward to that.
No, I agree with you. This quest line for Hildebrand has been really amazing, and I keep on looking forward to that next one. And since I'm going to be on vacation, like literally 3 days before, or no,
right,
3 days after the patch comes out, I may save the Hildebrand stuff until after I get back. But that means I'm going to be, on vacation, just thinking about, I want to do the Hildebrand quest so badly right now. And like this time,
yeah.
But like, I know at the same time though, I was like, I need to spend, not speed through everything and be done within a week or whatnot. I need to take my time and slow down and enjoy some of the content that's they're going to be releasing real soon, and I cannot wait.
Oh yeah. One of the things that people have already been talking about is that there's actually I expected that there would be a lot more pushback than there has been from the rating community about how there's going to be a much longer like patch cycle for the normal drop, because all we're getting on 7.4 is the Arcadian normal.
Yes.
Savage isn't coming until January. So this is the longest wait between a normal and a Savage drop that we've ever had. And people are actually hyped for it. And you know what? It makes sense because we're going to have time for people to actually craft sets. We're going to have time for people to get their gear in order. We're going to have time for people to actually get through the series, because we're going to have all of the normal gear limitations that come with a new, normal series dropping. But previously, the whole reason why there's been such a heavy emphasis on people trying to get crafted sets and mixed in with their series sets is because trying to get enough gear to be properly like Savage tuned to be able to deal with the Savage drop was really hard. Like, it was super frustrating. It was like, okay, you're giving us 2 weeks, or way back in the day it used to drop same day,
Yeah.
right? Is you're now talking about a week of people basically making themselves insane to try and get geared up enough to get into Savage and actually have gear that was appropriate for doing, that level of content. And now people are going to have 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks to get gear together. Like, people are going to be able to walk into this series or this like final Savage grouping actually well geared.
Oh no, and it, you know, it's right around Christmas, and so
Right.
it gives people a break and whatnot, but it also gives a lot of the raiders prep time.
Oh yeah. Oh
Prep
yeah.
time, some relaxation, not to rush it,
Actually,
and actually enjoy some of the
right?
content and prep themselves for the Savage fight, which is like, I think they need to do that a little bit more instead of just
Oh yeah.
rushing the content out there. Give us a little bit of breathing room and prep time so that we can go into these fight a little bit more prepared than
Uh-huh.
we have been in the past.
Okay. So, and I agree. I think it's a great move forward, and quite frankly, if this goes well, I know they're using the excuse of the holiday this time around. I would like to see maybe them try to keep this for the patch cycle going forward, and like give people 4 whole weeks to actually like not have to take it on as a second job to get enough gear to do Savage, for goodness sake.
I know, right?
Right? All right. So then we're going to go into a few other things really quickly as far as because I want to hit content before we hit quality of life. Because I'm going to spend way too much time on the quality of life updates. There's a lot of them and they are really good. Okay. So content, we're getting more Occult Crescent. I okay, so here's my little conspiracy theory for this. They haven't been spending a lot of time talking about Occult Crescent or dropping a lot of information about it. We are going to get the new Phantom jobs. We are going to get new accessories to go along with our gear sets. And we are going to get, of course, upgrades to the Dawn Trail relics. But we're not getting a lot of details about them. And of course, they did say that we are getting both a normal and a Savage version of the new Fort Tower. Whatever that's going to be for the next series or for the next set of stuff for the Occult Crescent expansion. But I think with the flubbing, but there was a little bit of flub, just a little flubby with the way that they decided to do things in Occult Crescent when it first initially dropped. And I think at this point they're hoping that they can kind of like, I don't know, patch it together, like put it. It's like it's fine, but we're not going to put a lot of focus on it just in case it doesn't resonate with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
So
I don't know. I pretty much abandoned
same.
abandoned it almost completely. Like I just want to get one relic weapon, and that's all I want to do. But it's like the grind. I do not have that much time to grind out the stones right now. I really
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. I got lucky enough that I was on I was like in that first couple of weeks of hype on getting the stones. So I got mine relatively quickly. And so I have now been on more of the gathering stuff in the beginning, and then it's the tombstone grind. But even with the tombstone grind, even with the everything else, and yes, I'm down to I only need one more tombstone grind of 1500. I think actually I'm up to 500. So I need 1,000 tombstones, and I will have gotten all of my relic upgrades for this grouping. But it is a dedicated every single day login and grind. And at the beginning, I was logging in and I was grinding for like 17 hours a day to get all of those pieces. And while they have increased the drop rate apparently a little bit, it's not significant. And I have heard from people who have tried to pick it up and put it down and pick it up and put it down. It's one of the reasons why I think they gave us the why they decided to tune the Monster Hunter rewards the way they did, was because they realized that it was so difficult for some people to get the Demiana
Yeah.
and actually get them functioning. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all there really is to say about Occult Crescent. I'm really hoping that the story picks up with it, or that they have actually like attended to. But honestly, at this point, I think that it was one of those things where like we tried some stuff and it didn't work the way we wanted it to. So now we're going to be like, hey, look over here. Isn't this cool? And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of other stuff to look at, and it is very cool. The next cosmic exploration star we're going to get it is Oisius, or Osius. I don't know how to pronounce it. It depends, but it looks cool. I don't have a lot of details about it. The last star, Phaena, was, it was what it was. People enjoyed it. Who enjoyed it? I haven't even gotten to. I can't even react to it because honestly,
I think I
I
spent
didn't
less
do it.
time. I spent less time in that planet than the first time around.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The exploration zones, it's weird because there's content that has been dropping this time around, which was unexpectedly good.
Yeah.
I cannot stop talking about Pilgrim's Traverse. Pilgrim's Pilgrim's Traverse is possibly the best deep dungeon that has ever been created in this game. It is so good. Like, I could spend so much time in there. And I like Palace of the Dead. I like Heaven on High. I spend a lot of time in this place. Granted, Eureka Orthos was not my deal because I did not like the way it was tuned. I don't feel as though it tuned very well, but it was okay. I like deep dungeons as content, right? But it's always kind of been that content that was kind of thrown out there, and people are like, who are into it, and people who are not are kind of not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Pilgrim's Traverse is just, it's innovative, it's fun, it's literally everything you would expect from a roguelike. It is exciting to do. It never feels stale, it never feels boring. I love the aesthetics of it. I love the mechanics that you were interact with, the fact that the bosses do, or actually just the mobs actually have real consequences to them as you start going up through the levels. The fact that there are more checkpoints, the checkpoints are meaningful, all of that. I'm sorry, but that was an out of nowhere spectacular content drop.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I haven't experienced it yet, so I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, I'll get there one day.
Okay, to be fair, we just got you through Palace of the Dead, which is a requirement. And I do kind of wish that they would remove that having to get through floor 50 requirement from the deep dungeons, because having to do that in Palace of the Dead, because and I know why they're doing it, is because they want to introduce you to the concept of how a deep dungeon works. But quite frankly, 30 floors is more than enough. You don't need 50 to
Actually,
really understand.
I'm actually glad you got me through all 50 floors just to understand the story, slight story that was going on in there.
Yeah,
So,
well, yeah, because it is, as far as like for being able to piece together bits of story, it is fun. It is fun for that. And don't get me wrong, I've also really enjoyed this Pilgrim's Traverse story. I'm very disappointed that things have happened the way they have in my life, that I haven't gotten a chance to hit up Pilgrim's Traverse enough to actually get to the quantum and to the top level stuff, because I was really looking forward to I'll get there eventually, but I haven't been able to get
yeah,
there yet.
I mean, we have time. It's no
Yeah,
rush or
it's
anything like
not like
that.
the content's going anywhere. But okay, so next content I do want to talk about though uh is the new variant dungeon that is coming out, and I cannot tell you how unbelievably hyped for this I am. Like, I thought I was going to be so hyped for the like exploration zone stuff, and I won't say it's bad, but I will not say that it has been something that has captured my interest anywhere near as much as things like the deep dungeon, the raids. The raids have been a triumph. I'm gonna be
Oh
honest with
yeah,
you.
most
The
definitely.
Arcadian series, chef's kiss, absolute perfection. Mwah. Um, the variant dungeon that's coming up, they did some gameplay, like walkthroughs of how this is going to work, the updates. It feels like they've taken the concepts of the variant dungeon, which I could kind of tell in when it dropped in Endwalker, that what they were going for. They wanted something where it was, here's the same dungeon but somewhat different, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
But it didn't ever feel like the changes from one thing to the next were like really significant. It was more like trying to just go through and figure out what thing didn't I mess with last time to open up this new thing. So of course it just became one of those things of content where like we have a bunch of people who've created guides and different matrices, and you just sort of like go through and it becomes kind of rote as like, here you go, this thing, that thing, the other thing. And the rewards were, I mean, they were decent. They were okay. But quite frankly, the one time that I tried to do the criterion was insane. Like, it was, I'm sure if you had like a dedicated group of people who are all very high level, and like you got together and you were like a content creator and you knew these people and you all like were top tier raiders, then the criterion dungeon would be frustrating, but it wouldn't be the impossible task that it is for someone like myself,
yeah,
right? Because the original way that variant dungeons works, of course, you have the three different pathways. You follow an NPC. There's kind of a story behind it. The first one is the is the you go into pathways underneath Ul'dah, and you learn a lot about Ul'dah's history. Okay, so that's cool. And then you've got the second one, which was Mount Rokon, which is you get taken taken back to Kugane, and there's a haunted mountain that has a uh like where monks live, whatever. And you're going through to see if you can find artifacts that can be sold back to rich people in Ul'dah.
Yeah.
Exciting. And then the last one is a dude from a village wants to find the most special fish that ever did fish in the fishiness to give to the pretty lady that he wants to marry, but she won't marry him because he's not good enough unless he shows up with a fish. Not kidding, that's the story. Anyway,
The fishies
okay, I
of all
might
the fishes to fish to give out to the fishies to marry.
like
Something like
okay,
that.
I might be exaggerating a little bit, but that's kind of the deal. Apologies for any spoilers, but I mean, you don't know whether I'm lying or not. I'm probably lying. Or at the very least exaggerating.
Just a tad.
It's
just a tad.
just a little. So anyway, you got your split off different versions. You change one or two different interactable points, and that changes the bosses that you have to fight. Da-da. Ta-da. Like that's it. And I could understand, like, I've done all of the variant dungeons. That was one of the ways that me and my wife spend a lot of time together, is both in deep dungeons and in variant dungeons. And part of the reason why is because, excuse me, my voice is kind of going out a little bit. Is because it is scalable content. So that means that when it's just me and her, we can go do this content without having to have like a full team of 4 to go and do stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
So, and that's very nice. It's nice to have that kind of content to go and do. But I will fully admit that after you've done all 12 of the pathways, you might want to go and do it a few times over and over again. But I mean, it's honestly, the pathways are so similar. Just trying to remember the one or two little interactions that are different is not that exciting. And then for you to go, okay, I want to do something a little bit more difficult. And the next difficulty level is, okay, now you have a full roguelike where your trash mobs have gone from, ooh, they tickle a little, and to this thing will fully look at you and murder your entire family.
And your
It will take
cow.
you out. It will take you out. And now you have to get through like very difficult trash packs, and then you have to get through bosses with insane savage level mechanics. You can only raise so many times. What I'm saying is that the power leveling was way the F off. Like there was a lot of difference between the end boss of one of these pathways and the criterion, just the first criterion boss. And it wasn't just one. You had to do all 4 of the bosses in a row, in order, get through all of their crazy talk mechanics to be able to get to the end to get your rewards.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. And then let's not even talk about like what it was like. Then to do the savage version was still having to do all 4 of them. Crazy talk gauntlet. But now it's like worse. It's all that but worse. And I'm like, this is a lot. Like, I wanted something that was scalable and that, like, it would. I was like, why, if this is soloable, then why can't we go to the next level up? Is just you take 2 people, right? And then like the last level up, you have to actually have a full party. Well, guess what? That's what they did. That's what they did this time around. We're gonna get, if you want to do all the pathways, do the choose your path, choose the different choices down the different storyline. um, then you can do that solo, or you can do it with 3 other friends. You can get up to 4 people. Any party comp. You don't have to take healer, don't have to take any DPS. You can go do whatever you want. Just have fun, go stupid, go crazy. It's great. Okay? And then get your rewards and have a good time. If you want to go for something a little bit spicier, they have changed it so that now they've removed all of the trash packs, and it's just you go directly to a boss. You choose a pathway, you go right to the straight to the last boss, tuned up a little bit more difficult. You get your special rewards, don't have to do them in order. You can do them in any pathway, any order you want, and you get your stuff, you go. You're all cool. The Criterion version now, which is like the top tier Savage version, well, now you have to have a party of 4. They suggest a party comp of tank, healer, and 2 DPS, and if you get a mixed party, i.e. a matched party through the matching system, it has to be tank, healer, 2 DPS. But you will have to follow a gauntlet of the bosses in a particular order to be able to get your final rewards. I like this. I like this plan. This plan sounds great. I'm down for it. I'm excited for it. And then when we're going to talk about aesthetics, let's talk about aesthetics here for a second. Arabian Nights.
Yes.
This is 1001 Arabian Nights, top to bottom. We're dealing with Ishtola's family, apparently. This is a story from her clan's history, so that's fun. We'll of course get into the details of it. They've already told us that part of what we are doing now, before we had actually like gone to a location, we had gone to a place to kind of walk through different storylines. This time they've decided to take the meta and make it literal. So in this point, we are going into a storybook.
And I like that.
It's
I
so
like that
cool. I think it makes the story so much better. I think it makes it so much cooler for all of that. I saw some of these bosses though. Okay. So one of the things okay, we got to discuss something real fast. So about the way that the variant dungeons work now is if you've done a lot of them, especially with the new the Moogle event that's going on right now, you might be used to, okay, we have the first boss, which is kind of the bleh boss, and then we have the main boss of each like pathway, right?
Yeah.
And the first boss that you come across is pretty much the same boss for all of the pathways. The only thing that changes is there might be some slight differences in mechanics, but for the most part, most of the mechanics work exactly the same. It's the same boss. There's not a lot of differentiation, right? Oh, that is not so. That is not so in this one. From what they showed from the only bosses that Yoshi P got through in the live letter this time around was the first boss, because he couldn't clear it. He could not clear the boss on any of them. Take that what you will. I know what I'm gonna take from it. Oh my goodness. So anyway, yeah, so but we've got Djinn, and then we've got an eagle, and then we've got different bosses that have different types of mechanics. And they look so fun, and I'm really excited to be able to try those out. You did kind of get a glimpse of at least one of the final bosses, one of the variant lines or whatever. And that is going to be a Djinni that is very recognizable if you ever read like 1001 Arabian Nights, or if it was ever like a story thing that you participated in as a child.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But yeah, she's very cool. Apparently one of her mechanics is that she has a carpet ride mechanic, and it looks fun.
It does.
Um
It really looks so much fun. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
I know, right? And like trying to figure that out, that's gonna be so cool. But yeah, but those bosses, they're all different. The platforms are different, the arenas are different, everything feels very different. The story feels like they did a much better job of actually reconstructing storylines, actually being different, and the choices that you're making do actually kind of have more impact on how the story's gonna go. So I am very excited for this. Also, if you love that Aladdin like aesthetic for glam or whatever, or if you've ever been wondering like, hey, I want to put together an Aladdin style glam, oh, you're gonna get to do it this time around. Cause the glams from this that you can buy, oh, they are peak. They are absolutely peak. And apparently the new mount is going to we already technically have a flying carpet mount that you can get off of the Mog station, but we're gonna get a prettier, much more updated flying carpet mount. And I'm super excited.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. I cannot wait. Like
Oh my god.
I've always enjoyed the variant dungeons. Like they're different. They feel like you have a choice that you can go different paths and whatnot, just like you said and everything. And cannot wait to like actually get a group together and just run through this and everything. I think it's gonna be so much fun to learn
It's
more of
good.
the story of Strolla and her family and whatnot.
Oh yeah, and it also feels like they really are starting to address a lot of the because when I talk about accessibility and being able to get into like different things, what I mean is, for instance, I would consider the rating as a whole in Final Fantasy XIV as being tremendously more accessible to the average player than say trying to get into raiding in World of Warcraft, or even trying to access high level rating type activities in Guild Wars and a lot of other MMOs, especially. It can be really hard to get together the right kind of group, to find people who are at the right levels, to get people who have all keyed properly, or who have had to jump through all the hoops and do all the things to be able to get into it. And while those games have like other methodologies, I'll be honest with you, I find a lot of those things very confusing. One of the things I've always appreciated about Final Fantasy XIV is it feels much more direct. It feels much more accessible, and it was one of the reasons why I had such a deep like I was kind of upset in Walker, because when I got the explanation of how the variant dungeons and the criterion and all that worked, I was upset, because I was like, what happened to the accessibility?
I know, right?
What what happened to something that we could do without having to dedicate 3 hours of our lives to just finishing the stupid thing? I got very irritated by all of that. So, I feel like this is a big step in the right direction, and I am super excited for it. So, a few other quick things about content. We're gonna have a new um gold saucer. Air Force One is getting a new path. Um,
Yes.
it looks so cool. It looks so cool. I'm so excited for that one.
Yes.
Pirate themes, Limsa, Air Force One, let's go. Um, we're also going to get let's see, as far as like other things. Oh yeah. If you are a duty support fan, which, no shade if you are. We all love a duty support. Zamiel Darkhold and Aurum Vale are finally going to get duty support. So honestly, I'm excited, because maybe it means for once I will finally not have this stuff show up in my roulettes. Ah.
Because it's not painful or anything like that if you don't get the right people to know what they're doing and stuff like that. So
Oh, those okay, so both the reason for my pain for those people who might be familiar, I don't hate the dungeons or anything, like, I'm not that kinda hater, but the problem is that those were 2 semi-experimental dungeons that had a lot of content that was pulled over from 1.0, so they have very particular strategies that are used for solving the problems of the mobs within them, and they're very difficult to explain to random people, basically. So, like most dungeons I'm used to, I come in, I'm tanking, I can pretty much be like, "Hey, everyone," I put up my tank stance, I hit my sprint, and I start running, and we're all good, right?
and we're
Um,
off to the races.
and we're off to the races. No, RM Vale, you zone in and you're just like, okay. So huddle up, guys. We gotta chat. We gotta talk. I'm gonna do this very particular thing, and I need you to all be on board, or else we're gonna be here forever. Do you understand? Um
Or
and
until time
as it is,
expires.
yeah, this is gonna suck. So here we go. And then Zamiel Darkhold, and the reason why these were particularly frustrating is because Zamiel Darkhold and Aurum Vale are 2 dungeons that are required for a certain bit of content uh called that's attached to your grain company. So if you want to be able to buy a house, for instance, you have to do Zamiel Darkhold and Aurum Vale
Yeah.
to buy a house. It's crazy talk, y'all.
That
It is a lot.
and
Okay.
the funny thing is though, like the first time I played the game, I did not realize you had to go through both of them, and I'm like, I got them done because it was on there and it was
Right.
part of the dungeon and just got it done and whatnot. I did not realize that you had to have both of them done to buy a house. I'm like, are you
Yup.
kidding me?
Yep. And it's technically I think it's considered to be secondary content. So it's not even like direct inline content until you start doing your grain company stuff. Yeah, so that's if you've ever wondered why it shows up so much in your roulettes, that's why, is because people want to buy a house and they suddenly realized, oh wait,
I did
I
not
have
do
to
this
do this.
dungeon.
Okay, so and then like a couple of other quick updates, and then we'll get to the UI stuff, because and I know UI is not normally exciting. Not normally exciting, but hold on for a second. Okay, so deep dungeon update for all those people who've been enjoying the Pilgrim's Traverse, but who had a disconnect because we've been having a lot of DDoS attacks. Um, the deep dungeons no longer will basically list it as a death, um, foreshortening your run if you are disconnected in the middle of a dungeon, provided that when you come back in, nobody dies. So, it's still kind of touch and go with it, but they are trying to fix the issue of people DDoSing and getting disconnected in the middle of a deep dungeon run and then getting messed up. So you've got a 10-minute window to get back in and get everybody back on track to get your run through a deep dungeon all squared away. So I'm happy they made that update. We got caught in that a couple of times. We had members of our deep dungeon team that got caught in DDoSes, and yeah, we had to restart a couple of runs. It was not great. It's kind of held us back a little bit, but that's okay. We will get there. We've been having fun with it anyway. So,
so
all
so
right.
so
Mhm.
so my question is this though, right? Let's
Okay.
say everyone's alive and a DDoS
Right.
happens. What happens
Uh-huh.
if they're getting attacked while the DDoS is happening? Does that count as a KO or not?
I would think that so
Or
long as when you get disconnected, everybody had health bars
Yeah.
that were up. Then when you come back in, your health you'll be fine, right? Because it will reset. But if you disconnect as someone is dying, then unfortunately the internet gods hate you and you will have to start over.
Oh, that would still suck, even though like you have that
It
10-minute period and
would.
everything. But that
Yeah.
see, that's the tricky part. Is like, okay, if everyone's alive and yet the servers are still quote unquote still going and the enemies are attacking you
Yeah.
while you're DDoSing, and you come back and you
Yeah.
take, oh, does that mean you have to start all over? Because that's just rude. That's just
It
mean.
is.
That's just
It is.
outright
It is.
mean.
Yeah, it is. It's just one of those things where I don't know. It's not always fun, but seeing as how these particular attacks seem to have eased up, but I don't know. It's it's one of those things where I just sort of take it as a matter of it's just like the nature of the beast. Like doing that content is has always been one of those things where you're just like, okay, this is acceptable losses, I can deal with it. Partially okay, so I say that, and I say that specifically for Pilgrim's Traverse Heaven on High and Eureka Orthos. If it happens in Palace of the Dead, yes, I cry. Because you have to do twice as many floors in Palace of the Dead as you have to do in any of the other deep dungeons. It is twice the pain of all of the others. So yeah,
because the save points are so far in between.
right. And now I'm really hoping that they've seen the popularity, and not just the popularity, but the just unbelievable quality of life increase that has happened from the checkpoint additions that were added into Pilgrim's Traverse, that we see that retroactively applied to Heaven on the High and to Palace of the Dead. Because quite frankly, and of course Eureka Orthos, because I think that quite frankly it's needed. It's just so needed. It is just so needed. It makes the quality of the experience so much better. So much better to just have those checkpoints. You don't feel as rushed. You don't feel sick to your stomach of having to like, push through. It makes the overall video game experience for it much much better. So I'm a huge proponent of, and I'm proud, and I've already kind of like on the forums been like, this is good, please go do more. Um so we'll see how that goes. All right, so let's move on to our quality of life updates. So we're going to start with the small ones first. We're going to get some new UI colors. So for people who are bored with our standard dark, our standard brown classic, and then our blue classic Final Fantasy, we are now getting crystal white and crystal green. So if you're into that and you like having the customization, yay. I'm gonna be honest with you, white and green are not colors that excite me, so I was kind of like, yay.
It's a
um
joy.
yeah, joy, more customization. All right, cool. The next thing I want to talk about is sort of a general thing, is the command panel. Do you check that thing out? I'm gonna
Yes.
be honest with you. This excites me just because some little part of me that has been super envious of all of those people who had the time and patience to learn how to do those really complicated, like I have macro panels that I have macroed to be able to like pop out all of my, like changing and switching between all of my gear sets and everything. But I feel as though I'm probably I'm mid tier. I'm not crazy with it. I'm just like, I took a couple of hot bars and I just added a few things, little bell, little whistle, just a little bit, right?
Hmm.
There are some people who have you seen 8-bit setup? Have you seen some of these people's setup? Like, it is nothing except for one button, and then they click it, and then it's like that. Oh my god! Like flip, 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 full UI, and then they click another button and like down to a button. It's crazy. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot, and I am not on that level.
No, I am not even in the beginning area. I had someone teach me how to do like a simple button just to target like the tank and have it on the screens just so as
Oh
a
wow.
healer, just so as a healer I can see it in my window facility, so that way, oh, the tank's health is getting down, let me heal him. But otherwise it's like I don't even mess with that at all.
Okay. Okay. All
Like
right. So this is
I'm
not
like I'm like
this is
nope.
this is the UI for you. Okay, so here you go. The command panel is going to give us 100 slots, 25 slots per page. It's basically like its own inventory type window of what is essentially a 25 spot hotbar. And each one of the pages has its own individual button that can basically be put on a hotbar. So if you're someone who does like to occasionally role play, or more than occasionally role play, or maybe you just like to show off the fact that you've been collecting all of the emotes in the game, not talking about anyone specific at all.
No, not
Um,
at all.
or if you're somebody who perhaps at one time created entire Magic Girl transformations for all of your jobs, but then stopped doing that because you ran out of hotbar space. Well, guess what? This is the update for you. Okay, so this is called the command panel. This command panel is going to give you all of these new buttons. It's accessible by mouse and keyboard, as well as through your controller. I'm a hybrid user. I am a PC player, but I have a mouse and keyboard, obviously, but I also play with a controller. So being able to get to it through the controller setup is incredible. Um, the fact that you can literally put any button on it saves you all kinds of space. And as we know, this game has so much customization to it. There are hundreds of emotes. There are hundreds of minions and mounts. Hundreds, so many things that people want to have access to. But like, one of the things that I struggle with is having to have enough slots for things like potions. Because I do so many deep dungeons, I do actually keep a plethora of things like echo drops
Yeah.
and spine drops and things like that, antidotes, to take with me, because they are immensely helpful in doing deep dungeons. Also, if you do any high level like Unreals or Savage Fights or anything like that, having pots, having raid food, but having to find somewhere not buried on a hotbar somewhere to get to it in the middle of a fight, because sometimes you need to access these things during the fight. Having the command bar so that you can just pop it open, get to it, and then close it is just an absolute dream. Just so great. I'm actually quite excited for how this is going to work. And the fact that they have it set up so that it's either going to open at your cursor, or it's they have it set up an option so that it will auto close after you use something. So if you do set it up primarily for using pots and potions, that it won't hang out on your screen, taking up a ton of space. If you use it for gear sets, it will also auto close, or you can have it just stay up if you're someone who's mainly using it for roleplay. It's just an awesome little quality of life extra, 4 pages of what is the equivalent of another 10 hot bars, essentially.
Nice. And I I have taken a look at, during this part of the live letter. And the
Mhm.
one thing that does excite me is that I get to sit there now, instead of playing the game or whatnot. I'm gonna see if I can customize my game a little bit more than what I currently have at the moment. So that way, because
Right.
I have, if you've ever seen my hotbar, I'm so embarrassed by it because I have like all my jobs in one like 2 hotbars, all my crafting and gathering in another set of hotbars, and then I have like emotes everywhere. Mainly because it's like I don't want to type it out. I just want to hit the button. But I have like
Right.
tons of emotes, all my mouse, my chocobo stuff on there. Like, it's a mess. I'm embarrassed by showing it. I did take a picture of like a screenshot of like what happened to a glitch that I experienced in Frontline. And like
Right.
and I blurred out my hotbar. I'm like, I'm not showing this.
No, I'll admit I have the firm belief that your hotbar setup is very, very personal to you. I have spent hours. I cannot tell you how much time I've spent to customize my hotbars, and I am very precious about them because they make sense to me.
Yes.
I don't expect them to make sense to anybody else. I do not expect it to be something that anybody else will appreciate. It is something that is fully for me, and so when people come on and go, "Your hotbars are a mess," I'm like, "You're a mess."
Well, because like
Okay,
I
whew,
spent
calm down.
I spent hours on mine too. Like every single job. It doesn't
Yep,
matter. So it doesn't matter what job I pick. I know the layout of every single job
yep,
because it's like the first. I have one row for this particular set of skills, next row for this particular set of skills, and then I even have like the third one on there for those. Oh crap! Just in case emergency, I need to press that.
yeah. I have a particular setup. Like I put all of my AOE skills for the most part in like one area of my hotbar setups, so that I know that if I have this lit up, that those are AOE skills versus these are single targets. And it's not a perfect system, like, but I have limit break in the same place on every single bar. I have sprint on the same place on every single bar. I have,
Exactly.
all of those things. So yeah, bar setup is very, very personal, but having extra spots now, especially if you're someone who doesn't like to have all of the hot bars out and open, or if you're someone who's always felt like you were short of the hot bars that you needed to be able to actually deal with all of your skills, we're gonna get more of that. And honestly, I'm always for like that kind of UI quality of life upgrade is huge. I am hugely happy for it.
Oh
Now we're
yeah.
gonna talk about the thing.
Yeah, no, especially for
Let
me having an MMO mouse, it
Yeah.
makes things so much easier for me
Oh
to
yeah.
navigate through and everything. So
Oh yeah. So let's go ahead and move on to the next UI thing really quick. This one is I know they spent a lot of time talking about command panel. Let's talk about the next one that I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of switching the order of the way that they talked about things in the live letter, but I want to talk about the strategy board next because
yes,
I am excited for it cautiously.
yes,
I
I'm
am
the same way.
cautiously excited.
I'm the same way because it's like this could work out really really well, or a lot of people
Right.
are not going to know what's going to
Right. Well, okay. So it feels like it's one of those things that they have spent a huge amount of time working on. And as I am a person who is big on accessibility, having something like, keep in mind, this is a game that crosses many platforms. And so while, yes, I am a person of privilege, living that playing on a computer with double monitor life, I know that that's not every person that I play with. A lot of the people that I play with are just console players. A lot of them are playing on a small TV. A lot of other people are playing on laptops. They don't have extra monitors that they're working with.
Yes,
A lot of people don't have a lot of screen real estate even. So while a lot of raiders are people who have invested in a certain type of setup, there are a lot of other people who are raiding with systems that are not anything like that. And I love anything that bridges the gap between what people consider to be the optimal and people who are working with what people don't consider to be optimal, because I believe everybody who has access to play this game should be able to play every part of it equally.
I agree.
So this strategy board setup being able to convey um the strategies that we're using for high end rating or for trials and things like that, the fact that it's shareable in the party live, huge, huge. The fact that you can keep it open while you're going through the fight and you can flip through it, huge. Love that. The thing that I will admit that I'm a little bit cautious of is the amount of storage for it.
Yeah, that's my thing too.
Because, like, okay, so if we take, for instance, the boards that I've seen some people using for the ultimate fights for for Sprout to Ultimate for HJP, a lot of those like links are leading to boards that are some that can be like 30 panels long. That's a lot, especially since one folder for the strategy board is only 10 boards.
I'm sorry. What?
That's
Only 10?
yeah, it's only 10. So you get 10 per folder. Now you get a total of 50 saved, right? But let's think about how many mechanics, especially like even if you were to just shorten it down to the big mechanics that you had to explain for you did Necron or you did DT EX5 with us, right? Tried it
Which
once.
which one was that?
The
Oh,
latest
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
latest
yeah,
one that
yeah,
came out. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. And we can even go back to Omega rates. All right. So let's talk about, because I know you've done a lot of those. Let's talk about Kefka.
Okay.
Let's talk about
Let's not.
Kefka,
But okay, yeah,
baby.
yeah, we can go. We can do that.
Okay. So I know that y'all spent a lot of time in the Buccaneers
Yes.
dealing with Kefka, working through those mechanics, and that
And
is fine.
Clan
Y'all
Nazi.
did awesome. Yep, and Clan Nutsy. Clan Nutsy worked through a lot of the fight there too. Um, how many panels can you imagine that you would have to go through to explain just phase one of the Kefka fight? Would you be able to fit it on one? No, absolutely not.
Oh God,
Just
how
to
many
hit the
panels?
highlights. Yeah, how many panels?
15
At least. At
at
least.
least.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So,
Might be less than that actually. Hold on.
mhm.
Okay,
We'll see
I'll
how
say
it
10
looks.
I'll say 10 to 15.
Yeah, yeah. So, here's the thing. They weren't entirely clear to my understanding of whether or not a board is consisting of how many panels, but the word board and panel started to be used fairly interchangeably. So I'm a little worried that a board is one mechanic description or only like 2 or 3, as opposed to what we would need be like 10 to 20.
Yeah. See, in the screenshot that they show in the live letter, you
Mhm.
see 15, and it goes a little bit beyond that. So I'm guessing it can go up to 20, maybe more than that. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm really cautious about it
What that
because, like,
implementation is gonna look
yeah,
like?
because like,
Yeah.
okay, so like we're currently going through Uru right now and whatnot,
Right.
and so just that by itself, there's someone put up a website on like just to get to Garuda, and that was like 30 something odd slides of explaining what to do. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna take that and then put that into the strategy board in the game, I'm
Mhm.
assuming you're gonna need more than just 10 or whatnot, because that just seems
Right.
way too low for, especially for
Yeah.
a complex fight to try to explain it and whatnot.
And don't get me wrong, it's one of those things where it's like we haven't seen it fully in action. They didn't like go through it in detail. They were trying to give a quick overview. Now, but I will say the sharing feature looks very interesting.
Yes.
The fact that it can be shared real time to show people how to get through mechanics that you're talking about. I am excited to see that. The fact that there will be presets that you can just very quickly kind of click through to create something and throw together very fast to show people how to do stuff. Very excited for that. Um I am actually cautiously interested in this because I think that one of the reasons why I have in particular shied away from, well, part of it is Fight Club, the Sprout to Ultimate group that I am the raid leader for. My job feels to me more like it's getting people used to things, right? Like I'm just there to work on group tactics and explain how mechanics work and just sort of give people like the setup, right? And then getting into the Buccaneers and Clan Nutsy is joining a raid team where you're going to specifically work on how your team solves the problems specifically and what strategies that you're using to get through each fight. So I'm more generalities. So I wanted to focus more on people being able to figure things out on the fly, right?
Yeah.
So using pre-made boards was not something I was ever super focused on. I have, of course, used, strategies and we've gone to read things off websites. Once we try them enough times that we're like, okay, these things are not super easily understood immediately. So let's go see how other people have solved them and see how we would solve them in the meantime, sort of thing. But yeah, as far as like high end ready, I know that most of the people who have seen it, who are raiders, are like, okay, okay, this looks good. This looks good. Especially for those people who like to party finder for their EX and their savage rating.
And God
Like,
bless them.
right? But especially having something where you don't have to, because one of the things that does wind up happening is that a lot of times we've got like a few people in the community who are very good about creating guides, who are very good about giving breakdowns. One of them is Hector, is oftentimes referred to. We've got Mr. Happy when he's working on those things. We've got a lot of other people whose names slip my mind right now. And a lot of times those strats are referenced in Party Finder and so forth. But a lot of times people will take those strategies and modify them a little bit for how they like to use them, but don't have a good way to explain what they mean by how they are changing them in, and this giving a visual explanation I think it's gonna cut through a lot of the verbal confusion, a lot of the language barrier, the fact that they even went to the detailed part of it of understanding the difference between in Japan, they don't use melee versus range. They just number your DPS 1, 2, 3, 4. Whereas,
Okay.
yeah, and in EU and North America, we actually make a differentiation between what we consider to be melee versus ranged.
Yes. Okay.
Because that we like to have the extra explanation of placement. But for Japan strats, they just use 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they just place 1, 2, 3, 4 where it needs to be on the arena. And I'll be honest with you, I almost would rather go to the Japanese way of doing things because it feels more streamlined. But at the same time, I can also see where if it's not something you're used to, it can feel confusing.
Yes.
So
I can see that
the
too.
fact that they were sensitive enough to that in creation of the strategy board to actually give. And here's the great thing about it. Okay, so the strategy board works in layers. Just like if you've ever worked in like Photoshop or any other image manipulation program, as you lay things down on the board, it actually creates layers of different mechanics. And you can do that to even differentiate between which mechanic's going to go off first, which is very cool. Quite cool, actually. The other thing is that you can switch between just numbering your melee 1, 2, 3, 4, and then switching to the melee versus ranged symbols without changing the strat or having to reset anything on the board. So you can literally just click a single option and it flips between those two different styles.
Nice. I like that a lot.
I do too. I think that there has been an incredible amount of attention to detail. Again, I think the only issue is going to be seeing how well in practice it is, how easy it is to put a board together, how quickly it can be thrown into to describe strategy, and whether or not it's something that people will actually use. And I think that pre-made boards, I think people are going to use a lot of. I think we're going to start to see a lot of party finders with codes attached to them that people can download. And the fact that you can even like create a share code of boards that you've created and then share them to your whole team is cool. That is very cool. All right. So no more having to go to a website that's outside of the game. No more having to deal with ads on those websites. No more having to deal with JavaScript or CSS or any of those things. Instead, you have something that is functionally in the game. You can make it as small or as big as you need it to be so that you can see what's on your strat while you're going through the fight. That's, you can leave it on the page where you need the reminder of where you need to be for the one mechanic that like you're having struggles with, right? I think it's going to be really good. I think it's going to help a lot more people get to access to access and have experiences in a lot of these high-end raids. And I think that that's going to be a lot more fun had for people.
I don't know. I mean, I do want the /pizza command to come back, and so that it opens up the website to Pizza Hut, and I can place an order for pizza and stuff like that. So I mean, can we bring that back? Oh, I'm sorry, that was for WoW. Never mind.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Do you remember that?
Anyway, I do remember that. Oh my God. Oh, I thought it was Papa John's though, not Pizza
Was it Papa John? Oh, it could have been Papa John's. Yeah.
Papa John's
it was fun. It was unique. It was like, hey, I want to order pizza /pizza, and it opens up a website for you. So
So weird. Anyway, the internet used to be it's such a weird place, the internet.
Oh,
All right,
the
so
young days
now
of the
we've talked
internet.
about seriously.
Oh,
Okay, so the strategy board looks good. Looks good. We're
yes.
gonna see, we'll see. We'll
I'm
see.
excited. I'm excited, but also at the same time, like you, very cautious about it as well. Like everything you explained, like
Right.
I completely agree with you. It hopefully it will make things a little easier for like someone like myself who does not use Party Finder for raiding and whatnot. Because I prefer to do raiding with friends, especially with the HCP community, because it's a lot more fun
Right.
that way.
Yeah.
We don't really take it too seriously, and I know our end goal is to down the boss and whatnot, but at the same time, though, like having this in our disposal now should make things easier as opposed to just like trying to explain it and try to understand it at the same time, where we can actually now showcase what we need to do and pinpoint what went wrong, what not on the strategy board. So I think that's going to
Yeah.
be really really nice and cool.
I think it will. I know that Marky's gonna have a lot of fun with it. I know that our raid leaders in HJP are gonna have to play around with it and see how it comes out. I look forward to playing with it and seeing how it goes. But again, accessibility very good. Beyond that, as far as I do participate a little bit in the party finder myself, but we'll see how it goes. Now let's talk. Okay, so let's end this with a bang. Let's end this with the big bang.
With a boom.
Boom. All right, so something that has been holding Final Fantasy XIV players from their ultimate form of creation back for a long time has been how both spectacular and extremely limited the glam system is.
Yes.
To give a little bit of a recap for people who might not be entirely familiar, the way that the system works as of right this second, which we are speaking at least a few weeks in the future to the 7.4 patch drop, is the way that glam works currently is that, of course, you have to have glamour prisms to be able to add your items into a glamour chest. Those items have to be at 100% durability. They will have all dyes, all modifications that are done to the armor will be stripped out of them, including any materia that you've added to be then put into your glamour chest. They can be pulled back out of your glamour chest and restored to their previous form if you want to actually wear the gear as gear. There is a new system that was added recently, which is turns a set of gear into what is called an outfit glamour. The outfit glamour currently requires you to have all of the pieces of the outfit to convert it to an outfit glamour. The update will remove that limitation, and in fact, it will remove all limitations from gear. So no longer will we be limited by level, by stats, by anything for what kind of gear we can wear with what. The exception to this is tools and weapons. Because tools and weapons are what determine what job you are using at the time that you are equipped with that item. So if you want to be a dark knight, you have to have a double-handed sword
Yes.
equipped. And that also means that even though the restrictions for level will have been removed, so if you are a level 100 paladin player who goes to pick up level 30 dark knight, you can glam your level, 80 double-handed sword you picked up from, whatever Dawn Trail or, Shadowbringer dungeon that you went into, you can now put that double-handed sword over onto your level 30 sword, and you're no longer limited by that limitation. You still have to do double-handed sword to double-handed sword. You cannot, in fact, go, well, I want to put my gladiator sword on as my dark knight. That's not how that works. It's
No.
still tied to your weapon and tool. But all of the other limitations, specifically the level limitation, let me tell you, as somebody who was in the process of leveling all of my jobs up, the absolute frustration of I am level 100 this, or I am level 90 this, and yet I can't take level 90 gear I've gotten from the 90 dungeons I've done, or from the 80 dungeons I've done, and put them on my lower level. Having to match the levels has been frustrating. And then when you come across a piece that you go, man, this would be so gorgeous if I were to put it on my warrior, and then you come to find out that it's a monk piece.
Yeah.
And that you can only wear it on your monk, and you're just like, what? So all of those limitations gone. And this has been a little bit more mind-blowing than like I fully expected, because one of the things that they're starting with is level 99 job gear.
Oh.
So I want you to take, that's one of the things that they demonstrated in the live letter, was Yoshi P taking his level 100 black mage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And putting the job gear for warrior onto his black mage.
Huh.
Yeah. Wild.
Very wild.
So it actually looked really good. It was cute. Now of course they're not addressing the glam plate issue right now, but with the changes to glam to the outfit glamours, right? Because all of the job gear is now an outfit glamour.
Okay.
All of the a lot of apparently the older crafting and gathering sets are now becoming outfit glamours. A lot of sets, I think they said that there was a mention that it was going to be stuff from definitely Heavensward, possibly Stormblood, that will also become sets. So what we may get is that rather than them increasing the size of our glamour chest, we're just going to be able to reclaim a huge amount of that space back from individual pieces, because they will be able to be converted into outfit glamours.
Nice. I like that. Actually, yeah, I like that.
So I'm excited about that. I think that's going to be great. I am especially excited about, because some of the crafting and gathering gear from previous expansions has been so good. I know that one of the model sets that they used for crafting and gathering in Shadowbringer was actually the exact same Plaguebringer set that you find in Saint Moshian's in level 60 gear. And the thing that has always sucked about that gear from level 60 is that it is so awesome. It's such a lovely, like, double-breasted tailed jacket, but it was undyeable.
Oh, I know.
So
I
you were
think I know.
stuck with the color set, and people would constantly be like, oh my god, I want this so badly, but I want to dye it. There is a dyeable version in the game, but it has been locked to crafting
Oof.
for Shadowbringer. So Now that crafting set has been completely unlocked, and we now have a dyeable set using that exact same 3D model that you can now get put on your anything, your anything. And I'm just that idea. So excited, just absolutely outrageously excited by this. Add to it the gear sets that were getting dropped in 7 point. Oh my god, we are getting a full set of amazing steampunk gear. Just absolutely gorgeous stuff. All right. Jade steampunk, amazing. So excited for it. But more than that, oh my god. Okay. So did you see? Did you see the Reaper weapon that was featured when they started talking about gear in the live letter? I highly suggest everyone go find it. It is a pink shouju magical girl Reaper weapon, giant metallic heart shape. Amazing. Absolutely spectacular. 10 out of 10. A billion out of 10. It is so good. Full on magic girl outfits.
And oddly enough, I do like a lot of the weapons that they were showcasing in this live letter. Like the red mage one, I thought was really cool.
Oh, it's so
but
cute.
But I agree with you. The Reaper one, such beauty. I think
so
I think
pretty.
in the later on they showcased they missed one, and they didn't showcase the gunbreaker one, and I thought that was a good one too.
We'll get a lot of that released over the next few weeks to the special site. Again, that'll be linked in the description. But the but yeah, so you'll get to see more details of all that gear that's coming out. The way that they're doing that now, I'll be honest with you, I have some questions. So my questions are, since gear is very important still to the game, like they haven't removed the restrictions from gear as its necessitation to being able to eye level get into fights, right?
Yeah.
And we still want to try and have the correct, gear stats to be able to optimize for our, for our jobs. So the question comes up with, are we just now down to a system of having to look out for stats on gear rather than being able to, like, one of the things for a while that was very nice was that if you were a tank aficionado, then all of your tanks, you knew the correct gear set to put on them because it was the fending set, right?
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping that they keep that designation, even though technically it can be glammed on any class and any job, because it was really nice to just have a shorthand in the naming convention to know what gear set goes on what job.
No, I agree with you there. We don't need to have everything be all mismatched and whatnot. We can keep some things relatively the same.
Right.
Because that'd be nice just to be like, hey, I still am a dark knight. Here's my dark knight weapon. I think someone like posted made a video about that, like what would happen after 7.4. And I still watched it because it's still absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to tell what anyone is except by weapon now, and it's going to be wild. I mean, as it is, we'd already had like the bikini tank, and we had the, special dressy, like princess dress tank or whatever. Like we had gear sets that didn't necessarily match the job that somebody was playing. But this is like taking that times a million. And it's both going to be, I think, great. And at the same time, there's a lot of potential for bad here.
Oh, 100%. Knowing this community, 100%.
Ooh, that leads. Ooh, there's gonna be a lot of potential for people to do. Oh, ooh, oh. I
Please
don't
be
know if
careful.
people are
Please,
prepared.
please be careful. If you're listening to this, please be careful with your
Ooh.
glam and don't get yourself in trouble.
Can you imagine what Limsa's gonna look like? Oh my god,
I could imagine
Limsa.
already.
Okay, the Sessy Glam's gonna get sussy. I'm just saying.
The sussy glams are gonna get even sussier.
I
Let's
know,
say
right?
that.
The Sessy Sussy, it's gonna be a lot. But I am so the creativity levels for it. And to be honest, this leads me into a lot of what has been said in a lot of interviews recently. Yoshi B has been talking about in a lot of interviews recently that he wants to basically recreate the game, have it be focused on player creativity, player accessibility, player inclusion, in that there's just as much stuff for as many different types of players as possible. And of course, that means not ignoring your housing enthusiasts, not ignoring your glam enthusiasts, not ignoring your fishing enthusiasts. Like, actually fully paying attention to the fact that this game has so many branching styles of play and how much overlap a lot of those styles have.
So can we talk about, well, you mentioned housing and whatnot? Can we talk about like the elephant in the room and how they can do a much better job with housing at the moment?
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and kind of discuss. This is where we're going to get into a little speculation. There was discussion in the last live letter that one of the reasons why removing restrictions from Glam was something that they were 100% willing to do at this point and that they're excited to do, but that the improvements to the Glam chest and to the Glamour plate system was going to have to be put off to later. And that is because they are in the middle of trying to um, build up the um, the housing system and make it more robust. And one of those things in the housing system that they're trying to look into doing is maybe just making the glitch system an actual system rather than it being just something people can do to work around the system. Oh god, I cannot even express how much I am okay. So I love housing. I love the things that people can do with housing. When I get started on a design in housing, this is how I feel. Happy, excited, hooray, I have such a good idea. About an hour or two into doing said idea, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at. Full rage. Full rage. Burn it down. I hate it. Make it dead. I hate it so much.
Yeah, no, that's me too. I mean, the amount of days that I spent on my current house, and I'm so glad the only thing I've been doing now is just making small additions and not any major changes or whatnot. But the frustrating part is just the glitching. Like, I do
Yeah.
not do it myself because it's so frustrating to try
Yeah.
to get it right. You can only do it at a certain height, but like even like one of my buddies from Excalibur, she has things stacked up like towards the ceiling, and I'm like, how did you get the patience to do all this? Like I'm like, I would draw myself nuts just by one item, and she's got 5 items up there. I'm like,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
I don't get it. People have patience of the gods more than me, and it's like at that point I'm like, please make that as a feature or an actual part of the game where it's not so frustrating anymore, and we can have see a lot more creativity in the housing uh, part of the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The thing is the creativity that exists in this game for the housing system is incredible. But the dirty little secret. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna spill some tea. The full people live out here in this world, loving Final Fantasy XIV, loving the housing system. The fact that it is a neighborhood based system that allows people to actually travel from house to house. And while there are a lot of housing designers who do not use any add on tools or any, that they fully do the glitches, they do all of the hard work within the system that they're given, which is basic AF. There are just as many people, if not more, who have just given in because the system is not good enough. And here's the thing that's so wild about it is that this is one of those little things. It's not even so much a secret. Like, we know that there are people who would never even dream of using third-party tools to do anything in this game. No, nothing to do with raids, nothing to do with cameras, nothing to do with any of those things, but will fully outfit their system with a third party setup just so they can do housing, because the housing system is just that rancid. The actual like placement system is rancid. The actual glitching, the fact that glitching, and it is fully taking advantage of how broken the system is. It is not at all intended to work that way. It is fully just people taking advantage of the 3D system and how jank it is, and the fact that it is so overlooked that there are houses that fully use and have to use the third party tools to make certain effects happen, and they have been featured on Square Enix's site is how hard they are not looking for this third party tool, because they know that it is making up for the lack of development that they have done on this feature.
And like, I want to give a shout out to Maple, our resident FC house remodeler and whatnot. She spent a lot of time remodeling the basement of the FC house during different events, switching from how it was before to Halloween, and now she switched it over to Christmas. So she's been spending a lot of time remodeling down there and having to do all the glitching and all that stuff. So shout out to Maple to do all that.
Fully all the kudos. Absolutely. Maple has done an incredible job of updating the FC house for Kraken's Call. I, of course, my characters are for the most part in another FC. I maintain the FC house over there, and I set that FC house up a year and a half ago, and it has not significantly changed since, and it will not. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. It was a lot. The amount of work that I put into it as it is, like, I am such a housing enthusiast. I have an entire apartment that is just a storage facility for all of my overflow housing stuff. I have an FC room that is literally nothing more than storage for my housing items. I have two retainers that I pay real money for that do nothing but hold housing items for me. I have spent a lot of time and a lot of focus on doing housing, and my enthusiasm for it after putting together a medium-sized FC house, I have not had any interest in changing it in over a year because it is just so much work. So yeah, absolutely all the kudos out to Maple for doing all of that, especially on the season. The next thing apparently that they've got in the works is actually increasing the amount of outdoor items, and the
Yes.
amount of indoor items is coming at some point. The thing is that the only thing they're willing to say is in the future there will be a time when the limitations will be more, but we can say no more about this thing.
In
And
the
I'm just like,
year 3000.
right? In the year
Year
2525,
3000.
if man is still alive, if 14 still survives, we shall find. Yeah, it's gonna be, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm just like, okay, sure. Uh, to also kind of, I know we're not gonna necessarily get into to comparisons, but WoW just dropped their housing update. So WoW has now finally expanded after 20 20 years of WoW. Um, they now have full housing communities, and they have housing available to their player base now that is very similar to what we have in Final Fantasy XIV, but because they've had the time, I guess, to really kind of put it together, they've got, let me tell you, like, one of the things that was very cool about getting involved in the, like, Final Fantasy XIV YouTube community was seeing all of the videos. Like, there's an entire FF14 HGTV like YouTube channel where they talk about glitches, and they showcase homes, and they their entire creators, which their focus is going to doing housing tours and stuff like that. It is, housing is a big big deal in 14.
Yes.
And now I am seeing World of Warcraft housing tours, and I'm kind of losing my mind a little bit because I'm like, this is so weird to have like this aspect of players that we knew was there. Like, we know they're there. We know
Yeah.
that there are people who play World of Warcraft for role play. We know that there are people who play World of Warcraft and other MMOs for access to their housing and their all of their other like secondary things. But MMOs have for so long been entirely focused upon raiding or upon a certain type of competitive and or collaborative gameplay, that the interactive role-playing style has been always sort of a secondary, tertiary, left behind sort of thing. And for WoW to finally acknowledge that after 20 years is just wild.
I mean, it is, and I think I don't remember if it was like when I was still playing it and whatnot that we wanted like our own space in the game, just to feel like we were part of the world and whatnot. And
Right.
the closest thing that we got was our own barrack. That was about
Yeah.
it. That was the
Yeah.
closest thing that we had was that, and you could build your barrack around it and whatnot. So now, after 20 some odd years,
Yeah. Yeah.
they finally got housing, and they're doing a much better job than Final Fantasy 14 is currently
Yeah,
right
at
now.
least
So
as far as the system is it's one of those things where, like, I'm genuinely hoping that Final Fantasy XIV does in fact take this as a note of, "Hey, these people pay their sub just like the people," like, because here's the thing, I know that people don't wanna go on about it, but in Final Fantasy XIV in particular, raiders eat good. Like, raiders eat real good. We have some of Mr. Ozma makes sure that all them fights are excellent. And especially I would say in Dawn Trail, the fights have been well tuned. They've been incredible to play through. They've been a lot of fun. The in general, since I would say especially since Omega. Like, and then the advent of, we have Savage rating and we have Ultimate rating. Um Everything that has uh a raid like feel to it, right?
Yeah.
Even with deep dungeons, they added that layer of rating to it with the new quantum boss, right? But one of the things that really maintains, especially in MMORPG, is the RPG side of it, not just the story, because once you play through the story, you've played through the story. It's the people who want to inhabit that story and inhabit that world with their friends. And RP elements in Final Fantasy XIV, it's like they've always been supported through things like items and glam, and yes, the housing is actually very cool. And the fact that it is neighborhood based, the fact that you can do things like literally have block parties in Final Fantasy XIV, that you can have a place that's a venue that is legitimately a club you can go to with your friends, is incredibly cool.
Yes.
And especially from an accessibility standpoint, that is amazing. But the fact that they have not spent the same amount of time and effort in building out game systems for those people who enjoy those aspects in the same way that they've worked on like fight mechanics is extremely disappointing.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
Just a
yeah.
tad.
And the whole thing is that kind of like sucks about it is that while there are some people who are very into the rating for Final Fantasy XIV, and that's all they do. They don't do housing. They don't care about glam. They don't care about, any of these other aspects. They just want to get into the fight and they just want to solve the fight.
Yes.
But there are a lot of other people for which they touch all of these things. Like, I like doing the top end fights. I like doing the housing. I like the glam. I like the deep dungeons. I like the explore. Like, there's so many aspects of this game that I enjoy and that I touch, and I want to see all of it equally developed.
Oh no, I agree with you. They, as someone who spent a lot of my time, like when I log in, I'm like in my house and whatnot. Like I would like to do more with it.
Mhm.
But I'm not going to do a lot of the glitching because of how frustrating it is at the current time. But a lot of this, I also enjoyed most recently with raiding, especially spending like many years in World of Warcraft and raiding there and whatnot. Just getting back into raiding in Final Fantasy XIV has been a joy and everything, but that's not my sole purpose when I log into the game. I like
Yeah.
to enjoy the other aspects of the game as well, and it's so vast and so different and whatnot. But
Right.
a lot of the other stuff aside from the raids, aside from the dungeon and MSQ and whatnot, like I'm glad we're getting the quality of life with the glam system. We need
Oh, yeah.
a major quality of life with the housing system right now too.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep, yep,
Because
yep. Hell, if nothing else, I will always love Final Fantasy XIV for giving me the dream of being able to go to a casino and not come out broke.
100% with you there, especially with like a little personal note of like my mom used to yell at me all the time about wasting my money on video games or whatnot, and then I found out that she likes to gamble, and I'm like, but you do this.
Excuse me?
you you're the one that yells at me about wasting my time on spending on video games slash toys
Right.
or other things,
Oh.
and here you are, you like to gamble. Excuse me, ma'am, we need to talk about this.
See, I my money actually yeah, no, that's some audacity right there. Anyway, I think that we've probably talked to death about it. I am so hype. Like, I can't even. Here's the other thing I want to get hype for. That was live letter 90. We are so close to 100 live letters. This is so cool to me because that means that we've got 100 different shows of this development team being dedicated to bringing more and more content, more and more information to their player base. And I can't. I mean, this is going to be such a huge drop. I'm so hyped for it, and it really does speak well to me of where we're going to be going from there, because I know that the next things that we're going to be looking at is, yes, we've got 7.5. Okay, so one quick thing though, normally on the 7 point or on the 0.4 patch, you know the thing we're missing though, right?
No.
No blue mage. I would be the one to bring it up. So of course we don't get our blue mage. You know what? Somebody had brought up in a video. A few creators have brought this up, and I'm hesitant to agree with them because of course I still want to huff the copium. I want more blue mage stuff. But I'm pretty sure that we're going to skip Blue Mage for Dawn Trail, and then we're just going to go straight to Beastmaster. Because, of course, Beastmaster is coming in the last few patches right before the new expansion drop. We have many members from our team that are going to be, or from our group, from Heather Just Play, that are going to be going to the Anaheim Fan Fest in April.
Yay.
And I heard that you're one of those special people.
I am.
Yay! So excited. You get to rep us.
Yes. So needless to say, one of our members bought a second ticket and offered it over to me. Like I joined in one of the groups or whatnot.
Right.
They heard I was gonna be in the area regardless, so I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna be there, just being around the area, just hang out with HAP and all that stuff. So they heard I was gonna be there, so they're like, well, it's sort of pointless if you're gonna be there and not gonna be actually partying, attending the fan fest. So they offered to me and I instantly accepted it and whatnot. So
heck yeah,
I'll be there.
Yay! Oh my god, I'm so excited for everyone who got their lottery and who was able to get. I know that there's so many people in our group who are going to be able to go. I know that Heather and Tom are going to be able to go. So it's going to be a massive meetup. It's going to be super exciting. I cannot wait to see all the pictures and everything, because of course I sadly have to stay home. But that's okay. My void is warm and cozy. I will get pictures. It will be fine. Um, I'm not at all disappointed or upset about it
or
in the
jealous or anything.
slightest. No, not even the slightest bit. Why would I be going through any of the stages of grief over this at all? It's just no, I'm so happy for all of you. Yay!
Yay! Yes, I will be representing us out there and whatnot. So, just still got to deal with Christmas first, and then I can
Right.
start planning on whole fan fest. Since 4 months is quite a short period of time.
It is.
That I'm finding out. So
You'd think it's a lot of time. It's not. It's so not. Especially not when you've got Christmas between now and then. And then going into the new year, it's gonna be crazy. But best of luck to all the HJP people. I'm gonna be looking forward to all of the videos that Heather and Tom are gonna make. And I hope that everybody takes lots and lots of pictures, shares it on the Discord. Speaking of the Discord, if you're listening and you would like to join our community, you can go to heatherjustplay.org, and there are links to our Discord. There's a short application process where you just tell us about, where you learned about Heather Just Play and who you've been listening to, perhaps even a mildly feral bunny girl talking about things, and perhaps even an Eorzean / voidsent that like to talk about the 14s, and just tell them that we sent you, and you can come and join our group and play with us. So I think that is awesome.
It is awesome. This group has been amazing to be with and be around with and everything. So come join us, and you won't be disappointed. I mean, we don't just play just 14; we play other games as well. Currently, right now, there's talks about playing Warframe, and we have occasional repo and other games like that throughout the
Yep.
week, and everything. So yeah, just stop on by.
We have a
Say hello.
Minecraft group. We have an Ember Knights group. We have
Yes.
lots and lots of multiplayer groups playing lots of games. Lots of people wanting to play with other people about things. It's a wonderful, supportive group. Honestly, I'm deeply thankful for finding it myself, and I hope that you will come and join us. All right, everyone, I'm going to go back to the void because I need a very long nap.
And I need to get something to eat because, yeah, I'm starving right now. But I will be in game sometime soon-ish while I'm doing other things at the same time. So,
All right, see you in the void. Bye.
and may all your etherite travels be free.